Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BMRL Network. And we are live, and we are back after a long break. And get ready to get going here in the Xfinity series. And it's here at Bristol Super Speedway for another race. We have had 5 races so far into the season, and we are on our way to go into the sixth one. It's going to be 175 laps, 93 miles, second shortest distance of this season so far. It's the qualifying session, of course, a closed qualifying session, so everybody will be there on their own, try and get a lap to themselves. I wonder if it's open or closed. I don't see any of the cars. Rather, everybody on their own, and do a lap, 2 laps that they get, and try and do the best they can, of course. Here in the Xfinity, it's going to be the Charlotte Roval next time around, but tonight we've got all the fun and the blockbuster to go in this Xfinity series. So it's going to be 175 laps. One lap. It's going to be 2 stages then, pretty much. Stage 1 is going to be 0 to lap 70. That's going to be end of stage 1, and then when we get racing, it's going to be then from lap 70 to 175 to the end of the race. With, of course, these drivers starting. It's going to be a night race, and 70% fuel, 3 sets of tires. All of these drivers get. So we've had 2 drivers win 2 races in a row here in the Xfinity, but haven't had any driver do it 3 in a row. It was Andrew Gross winning back in Daytona, back at round 1. Then it was Ryan Philbrick in round 2 and 3 taking that victory, but it has been Dakota Ramsdell taking the last 2 race wins at Charlotte Motor Speedway Oval and Darlington Raceway. Can he do it and make it 3 in a row and be it his 3 races in a row? And apologies, as I said, that this was going to be the shortest race of the season so far. It was actually at Charlotte Motor Speedway, which was not broadcasted. It was 76 miles. This one's 93, and then the one after this at Charlotte's Motor Speedway Roval layout is going to be 68 miles. But this is then second shortest race of the season, with timings to ourselves already being there. Meanwhile, Chris Cornett ahead of everyone in that 87 car, with Chris Moore in Corey Moore, that should be, I believe, in that 45 car, and then Dakota Ramsdell P3 and his chance of doing it 3 in a row is going to be there, with Sean Cross being in P5. And these are the 5 drivers here tonight to take us along through here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And we are, of course, going to be getting on your screens and all through there with, of course, myself, Zebby Hare, and to take you along the journey of racing. The 1 lap to go, and that should have been one of the drivers there. So there is Jeff Peppers, the number 7 car, retired out of the session. I see 6 drivers out there, and maybe there might be even more in the session so far, as the 97 car, as a spin there, just keeps it out of the walls and almost could have been rear-ending into the wall, but that did save it up for him a little bit. If you've seen 6 drivers, as I was saying, there might be more in the session, with the 97 car not yet having a registered time on board. And as soon as all these drivers have a time on board, or the grid is ready, only then we know how many are there in the session. As at this moment in time, the car 97 struggling to get a lap on, with Jeff Peppers being 6th and slowest of them all so far, of all those who have a time on board. And the 97 gets going one more time, and he's got all the chances and to prove his worth and prove his time here at Bristol. And he almost has another spin, and indeed he will have one. He doesn't have a spin, but just loses the car, and that's going to put him in the wall, and will have to get back to the pits not once but twice this time around. And he was spun, almost rear-ended into the wall earlier on, and he did it this time around. Meanwhile, we do see a driver in there. With all of them now getting their lap times on, it was indeed Andrew Grews, and it says that he used the quickest of them all. As I was saying, that he almost went into the wall out there, but maybe it updated a little bit later his time. And all of these 7 drivers now having times on board, with Andrew Grews being the fastest of them all, the driver who won in round 1 here in the Xfinity Series. And that's then going to be the end of the qualifying session. We should be getting these drivers gridding on in a minute 02, and they'll take us for the 175 laps here around Bristol Motor Speedway. And the grid is ready with these 7 drivers, with Andrew Grews ahead of everyone in that 97 car on pole position, with Chris Cornett alongside him on that front row. Then it's going to be Humberto Jr. in that 3rd place, Corey Moore in 4th, Dakota Rimsdale in 5th. He's far away, not far away, but a little bit away from that victory if he wants to get that. And Sean Cross in 6th place. Then comes Jeff Peppers completing the 7-car grid here at Bristol we have tonight. It's going to be all of these their chances to get us going and take us through Bristol Motor Speedway tonight, as they're all behind the pace car now. It's going to run around the circuit for a lap or 2, and as soon as everyone's ready, moreover, the pace car driver is ready to end it up and be there to really let these drivers race into the green flag. And if you are just joining us, we are here tonight for live for the Xfinity Series, and get us going, returning after a long break since Christmas break had taken place a few weeks ago, and we are back, and we will be there till the end of the season now, hopefully, with every week coming in and out, and this is going to be their chances. 7 drivers, Jeff Peppers, car number 7 in P7, but it's going to be Andrew Grews and Chris Cornett, 97 and 87 car numbers, only 10 numbers different from these guys, moreover just 9 and 8 in the starting of their race car numbers, and it's lap 2 already, despite being behind the pace car, and there seem to be no lights flashing behind the pace car, and it could well be a chance for Andrew Grews to get going, or will it be a chance for Chris Cornett to catch up to him and give him somewhat of an interesting fight, and really the pressure that Chris Cornett would want to get him going and really get ahead of Andrew Grews, because Chris Cornett needs a very good racer around here in the Xfinity Series, which he would have been looking for from a long time ago. And are we gonna see the pace car come in? Yes, it does. And now the front row drivers are going to be on their way as it goes green now here at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's going to be Chris Cornett already around the outside, on the way on the inside is Andrew Grews. It's going to be, will Grews be able to hold off there, or will Cornett be able to go around the outside and stay high and really get ahead of him? But Andrew Grews still stays low, and will he let him pass, or will he still try and fight him out? Well, at this moment in time, he seems to be fighting him out there, but Cornett is not going to give it away as well. The 87 car gets the position and gets the head of Andrew Grews there, but will there be a chance of another fight by any of the drivers right behind there? Meanwhile, we are having a look at the number 14 of Humbert Jr. at the start point in time in P5, just ahead of Sean Cross and Jeff Peppers. Sean Cross in that number 3 car in 6th place at this point in time, and Jeff Peppers there has a little bit of a spin and hits pit road already, just at the end of lap 1 of a green flag. Meanwhile, Cornett is going to be in big pressure from Corey Moore, and he's going to be overtaken by Corey Moore. The 45 does it all from P3 to P1, but that is going to be a first caution almost, as both of their drivers are going to go in the wall. And that indeed is going to be the first caution. Only went 5 laps, and it caused first caution, and they're going to touch for one more time as Corey Moore went around the outside, lost the car, lost the grip, and bumped into Chris Cornett, and that's going to be both of the drivers hitting the wall. Meanwhile, Andrew Grews pulls away from both of them over a second while those drivers crashed, but they pressure the pace car is already going to be out. And meanwhile, we're getting closer to the end of the season. We're getting closer to the playoffs. So this is all exciting. This is all really now for all these drivers to think what they're going to be giving up. And nobody's backing out. Nobody is really backing out to really, give the other drivers space a little bit. Sure, some of the drivers really want space, and all of you want to provide them space as well. But then when it gets to the end of the season with only a few rounds of racing remaining, you really want to be there because you want to get maximum points. Meanwhile, we see Chris Cornett, Corey Moore, and Sean Cross all coming down pit road to get the repairs if they need. Sure, Cornett and Moore will do so. Not sure about Sean Cross, but maybe he wants to carry out some extra fuel, which he can do that right now, or maybe carry out the maybe get a new set of tires as well, which would be unlikely, getting a new set of tires only at the end of lap 8, but you never know what could be happening as Jeff Peppers is already in the pits. We saw him have a little bit of a spin around for a few moments ago on his own, but this is now everybody's chance to come into the pits. Only the top 3 who are yet to pit. All the other 4 drivers are down pit road. Chris Cornett, Corey Moore, Sean Cross, and Jeff Peppers. All 4 of them in pit lane. But will it be Andrew Gruus, Dakota Ramsdell, or Junior in that number 14 car to hit pit road? But Andrew Gruus has got a chance to get at the top, win another race, register his second victory of the season here in the Xfinity Series, or will it be Dakota Ramsdell finally able to do it 3 in a row? But I think we'll see what can we do. Or will it be the man from Slinger, the man himself, the number 45 on your screen, which just to disappear, but can he do it again? Or will it be Chris Cornett to get glory here at Bristol and a race victory in the Xfinity? Because he's had victories in the other series, let it be the Truck Series, albeit the Cup Series around here at BMRL, and I think it's their chances now. And there we go, it's green already, as we were not looking at where the pace car was. Meanwhile, the top 3 who did not pit are still inside that top 3. And into lap 10 and 11, we're going to move in a few moments' time. It's going to be Andrew Gruus leading one more time, with just ahead of that 83 of Ramsdell. And right behind those drivers is going to be the 14 of Junior. But Andrew Gruus ahead of everyone. The man himself, the man who won at round 1 back at Daytona, and now it's his chance to do it again, get himself 2 race wins here in the Xfinity. Can he do it though? Sure, he started in first place, then lost out to Chris Cornett, lost out to Corey Moore, let those 2 drivers fight each other and bumped, and ended up making contact, and a wreck happened which caused a caution, which then definitely supported and helped Andrew Gruus in such a good way that gave him the track position and kept him ahead of everyone as he's about to lap Sean Cross now. We're already into lap 14, and the track's temperature, not the temperatures, but the laps are going to be rapidly passing up as the top 2 have lapped already Sean Cross. Meanwhile, Chris Cornett and Jeff Peppers still staying in the pits, and now minimum Chris Cornett or Jeff Peppers would need to do is get ahead of Sean Cross. And then be the lead car in the lapped ones, and then have a chance of being back on the lead lap until being back on the lead lap if there is a caution again, but only if there is one again. If not, obviously they will not be able to do that. But for the moment in time, Dakota Ramsdell will be on his time, as he's going to be there. He's going to be giving up everything he's going to try and do everything he can to make it 3 in a row. All the hype we've done, but so will try Andrew Gruus to make it 2 races in the season for himself so far. But can he do it? It's all his chance. It's all his time to shine this time around. With only 7 cars here at Bristol Motor Speedway, it's going to be his chance to get us going and get it through one more time. Meanwhile, there comes the car out of the pit road. It's going to be Chris Cornett. currently in 6th place, still ahead of Jeff Peppers. He might have retired unless he can repair back in and come back out ahead back on the circuit. We are already 20 laps into the race, and that's going to get us going. Meanwhile, Corey Moore, who's in 3rd place actually, and Chris Cornett, who's a lap down, so maybe Chris Cornett has suffered a lot more damage than Moore did, because Chris Moore and Chris Cornett, remember, pitted all together, and Chris Moore is only about 3 seconds behind the leaders, which is a lot, but I'm saying that only 3 seconds because Chris Cornett is over 11 laps down on the leaders, and that then explains it. But these guys are again going to find each other side by side and being there to really give it all. And I think Chris Cornett is really going to give his defending all and going to show what he can do to try and defend against Corey Moore, because he almost did it earlier on, but then Moore in the end sent it in, making a mistake, sending both of the drivers into the wall, and that became the reason for both of the top drivers pitting up. Meanwhile, Junior's now right behind Moore there, and he could well be on the way to say that 3rd place is going to challenge him up, because Junior is going to be on his way to trying to set Moore. Moore, who was fighting for Corey, who was fighting for that race lead a moment ago, finds himself over 4 seconds behind. But will it be Junior? Will it be Humberto Albert Junior on his way to get to 3rd place? Will he be taking that? Yes, he will be, as he goes down low and gets ahead of Corey Moore and sees himself into 3rd place and takes that final position in the podium for podium runners on lap 26 out of 175, as Corey Moore's now going to come into the pits. That's going to be him struggling again. Maybe somewhat more damage repairs than he did earlier on were needed for his car, or he's going to take them all. Not at this point in time, but he had to do it in one moment or another, and he's going to be taking it all, because we will see what they're all going to be doing. Meanwhile, the fight between the top two is going to be on their way. It's going to be somewhat of a good looking fight. Meanwhile, we are into laps 29, which will be becoming 30 next time around, and the first stage will be at the end of lap 70. It's going to go up to lap 175, but it's going to be till lap 70, and we are going to be there. Get back up and get back on with all the leaders there. We are having a little bit of a And we are back with it. Apologies for that, but let's get it going now on lap 33 out of 175. And now Andrew Grews could well be in all the pressure he could have not wanted for himself, and he couldn't have been wanting that at all. That he'll be on his way to really not handle that, but really see a little bit of a pressure, look into his mirrors and see Dakota Rinsdale within 1 second of his car and be there and be in the challenging fights there. Sure, he's been there from laps after laps, but as the laps get past, as the laps get through, lap after lap, they're going to get closer, and there's a yellow flag. Something might have happened there, which we haven't quite seen at this point in time, but we'll only know if we are there to see a replay. But the yellow flag is out, and that now then marks the second caution of this race. Are we going to see the replay of what exactly happened? Only time will tell. But as it stands, we do not see. And we see the three cars there. And Sean Cross being 3 laps down means he being the leader lapped car. It's going to be him getting ahead and coming out ahead and being in 4th place. And the lead lap car to see him get ahead of there. Meanwhile, Andrew Gruce still stays out, but Dakota Ramsdell and Junior is gonna be there. A little bit of it's a caution. The drivers are going to pit out. We're going to take a little bit of a break and be back on once again as we go green. And so this is what happened. We were looking for what actually could have went wrong and been the cause of that yellow flag. And that then exactly what happened. Chris Cornett lost it on his own. Maybe he had so much more damage than we thought he had after that first incident. And then just ended up losing it out on his own. And that then caused this caution. But will it be the end of the caution now? Will it be the end of this space car being out on the circuit? And see, yes, go! We got green racing, and it is going to be the case there with Dakota Ramsdell and Junior putting a lap ahead of Andrew Gruce. It's going to be giving Dakota Ramsdell a little race lead, and the number 14 car, the second place fight. Second place, and both of them could well be on their way to give us a fight and somewhat of racing there side by side, which we've been wanting to look for. Meanwhile, Andrew Gruce loses out a little bit between the two in that for that top three, but as it stands, Corey Moore and Chris Cornett, both of them are out. As of my understanding, they will be out of this race with Andrew Gruce coming up into the pits one more time. I believe he pitted once under that caution, and he might be doing that one more time with the top two now on their fight and will be on their own till the end of this race, unless John Cross, who still is 2 laps down, could find his way to the top and back to the top driver runners, as it's going to be 43 laps now in out of 70 that we are going to be taking up to the end of this stage. They're still not side by side, far away, still moments away from each other and not quite giving us the action so far we have been looking for. I mean, it must be great for these drivers to be back there, of course, looking at the trucks and the Cup Series race, which was also postponed into the next one as well. Did not happen last time around, and only the Truck Series race, I believe, had functioned that week and previous week, and I wasn't part of that as well. So great to be back at the top after a long break. And let's get it going. I mean, Andrew Gruce still stays in the pit. If he stays out, probably he is already out of this race. That could well be only leaving us out of the 3 drivers out there. Andrew Gruce still stays there, but depends on what is going to be there. Meanwhile, the number 14 has gotten closer, and it's going to be very close between the two now. The top 2 are only now separated by 0.32 seconds, and that's going to be very close between the two, and it could well be their chance to fight each other off. For 49 laps out of 175 and 49 out of the first 70, which is going to be the end of that first stage. It's going to be, of course, only 2 stages. It's mentioned as 3, so pretty much that's why I believe the pace car stayed out there for a little bit of laps, and it counted the laps on as well. So I think it went in on lap 5, and then went on racing. Just after a few laps, there was first caution, then came another one, But this stage is then now going to be ending at the end of lap 70. But we are going to be keeping an eye on these two drivers. Meanwhile, they are going to be on their own as Andrew Gruce has, I believe, came out of the pits. It's being 6 laps down. Colin Cross as well. That means that Dakota Ramsdale's chances of making it 3 in a row could well be on, as we saw Junior hit the wall on the outside, and that might have given him a little bit of a tap and a little bit of a damage to slow him down a little, but that might be visible in his speed as well, as he's massively losing out to the leader and losing out to Ramsdale leading the race, and the gap, which was less than half a second, is now over 1.1 seconds, and it's only increasing lap after lap, every mile they go forward. Junior goes behind, and there's another yellow flag, and we are only going to see what exactly has happened, and let's have a look at that. Oh, so that's exactly what's happened. We saw Andrew Gruce spin out a few times in the qualifying session, and he's done it one more time. Doesn't quite find it easy, and he's going to be in the pits one more time, as he's out of the race, as it says. So that's then only going to leave us with the drivers, only with the 3 drivers, and with only Sean Cross being there, hopefully gives him the lead lap. And that's going to only leave us out with 3 drivers being there, and we are on our way to get us to the end of this stage. And after this, we've got one more stage to go, and that's going to be the longest one, which is going to be just about over 100 laps. Junior now pitting. He tapped down the wall on the outside as well. He might be on his way to be making a little bit of a contact and really finding it hard to repair on. We definitely want to repair on, but Sean Cross has got a good chance as well to get back on with these lap drivers. He's still a lap down. He might find his way to get through, but not sure why he's not got that he's back on that lead lap, because usually if you are the lead driver from the lap cars, it gets you back on the lead lap. But we'll see what is exactly going to be happening and what exactly will be the case in this one, with the pace car still staying there for one more lap. And there we go. Junior is back inside that top 2 once again, and that's going to see him try and have a go at the Ramsdale one more time, and this could well be his best chance to get that stage win, because that then was going to be a stage victory chance. Meanwhile, Ramsdale is almost doing a side-by-side action with the pace car there, with the amount of cars we've got out of this race. It could well be these two there now fighting each other, but Ramsdale almost going side by side with the pace car, and it's almost, indeed is going side by side for a moment, really giving us the action we have been looking for. But the top 2 are going to be side by side for the restart, as it's going to be going green flags, and Ramsdale's going to be ahead of everyone. He's not going to give any chance to Junior to get side by side with him, or to get any closer to really, give him a chance or attack him for that race lead. And it's going to be a chance for him to be there. And Sean Cross still stays a lap down on him. He was able to take one lap down, but not sure why not one another lap down. He still finds himself 1 lap down from the top 2, and there's only these 3 drivers in this race so far remaining, and we are on to lap 61 with just now 10 laps to the end of this stage, just about 9 after this one, and we will see what all of these, or I shall say 9 including this one. The laps pass rapidly, the drivers pass rapidly around the circuit to get us going and get us to the end of this stage, which is going to be off lap 70. But then the third and final stage, which is going to be then for a restart from lap 75 to lap 175 to the end, over 100 laps with only 3 cars and 2 on that lead lap, and a chance of fighting each other off could well be on their way, as now it's going to be rapidly passing up. Ooh, it's almost like a practice session once again. It's a few races ago we had in the Xfinity, but again, I think it's always going to be a great matter of time for Ramsdale. Nothing's going to matter for him. Of course, he is there, and he's there to do what it takes to be finishing first, and he's doing it. I mean, he was anyways there in the fight. Let it be Andrew Gruss side by side with him. And he's almost going to have a spin of his own and beat another driver out of this race. That could have been horrible there. But he just controls it, stays out of any walls on the outside or the inside. And that sees him stay out on the circuit. But that's only going to allow Junior to get closer, because that's the great news, not for Ramsdale, but for us all watching. So maybe Ramsdale to get closer and attack him and really give us the fight we have been looking for.
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Green flag, green flag. Yellow flag is out. Green flag, green flag. Yellow, yellow, yellow.